what I'm talking about, babe. Yeah. Now it's time for me.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So if you have clicked on the video, then this, you know, you want to hear this Uber story. I haven't done one of these in so long, and I'm not gonna hold y'all up too much. So if you are new here, thank you so much for coming. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video and leave your thoughts down below. I reply back to everybody that comment down below. And yeah, without further ado, y'all, get your drink, get your snack, get your herbal essence. Y'all know how we do. And stay tuned to the video, and we're gonna get started. So, y'all know I haven't done one of these in a long time. I haven't done an Uber story in a while. So, first of all, I'm gonna tell y'all two stories. One of them is a story that was told to me, to tell y'all. So I'm gonna tell y'all this story. I just got done telling this long story, y'all, 50 minutes long. If you didn't watch that story time, go back and watch the first time I got high off the herbal essence. So go back and watch it. But anyway, so first I'm gonna tell y'all the story that was told to me. So my friend told me this story on, I think it was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday. Last week, Thursday. I know y'all like, what? It was a week ago. A few days ago, really, because today's Sunday. But let me fix myself. Okay, so my friend told me this story. My friend that I did the vlog with, Amy, she in one of my own, I think I only got one vlog on my channel. So that vlog where I went to the comedy thing, that was her. My friend Amy, she from Chicago. So she was like, tell this Uber story, cause girl, I was like, okay, I'm gonna tell it. Now I'm gonna try, if I can't, let me say this. If I can't remember some things, I'm gonna make her put it in the comments down below. When I upload the video, I'm gonna let her know so she can look at it. And then if I miss something, I'm gonna have her put it in the comments down below. Amy P, that's her name. So you're gonna see it in the comments down below. But if I told it good, she probably would just say, you know, whatever she gonna say. Anyway, shout out to my friend Amy. So, okay, my friend Amy from Chicago, like I said, y'all. Okay. She told me that this happened this past November, I believe. That's when it was. This past November. She said she went to Chicago. She's from Chicago. She went to Chicago to go link up with a friend, a male friend of hers, or whatever. She went to go visit him or whatever. Most of her family, some of her family still live in Chicago. So she has family out there and stuff like that. Okay. She said that she just got off the plane. So she said she just got off the airplane, and she said that her guy friend had picked her up from the airport or whatever. And she said it was late at night. The incident probably happened around midnight. Okay, so she said that when they were driving, I think they were going back to his house. But I think before that, I think she said they stopped to get some food, and then he took a different route to go home. She said he normally takes a route, but this night she said it was snowing and it was, oh, I remember. See, I got it. She said that it was below zero. Cause I'm like, she said it was below zero. She came to Chicago with a thin ass coat, y'all. And her friend was like, let's go to the mall and get you a big coat. She said the name of the coat. That's why I said, if it's some things that I'm forgetting, I'm gonna have her put it in the comments. She gonna tell y'all the name of the shit or whatever, because I don't know. I'm not from Chicago, so I don't know the names of these coats. And supposedly this coat was expensive as hell. So she said she had to get this coat, and she had got the mittens or whatever, because she said that it was freezing cold. And the guy was like, you gonna get sick, you need a coat. So anyway, so they got the coat. I think they went and got the coat, and then they went and got some food. And by the time all of this started, by the time they started heading back to his house, it was almost midnight. So she said that they went down an alley. In the alley that they went down, she said it was pitch black dark. And she said only thing that was lighting up the alley was his headlights. So she said when they was driving down the alley that she saw a man and she saw a lady. She said that the man had a ski mask on, and she said that they were not alarmed. Now, if you in Houston, you see somebody with a ski mask, we know what's going down. We know what's happening. But apparently, when you up there and people wear ski masks, it's not alarming. They just wear it because it's so fucking cold there. So she was like, yeah, he had a ski mask on. Because the way she telling me the story, she was just like, yeah, he had a ski mask on. And when the lights hit him, we were just like, okay, you know, he got a ski mask on, whatever. It wasn't nothing to be like, oh, he robbing her or nothing like that. So the lady, the guy seen them. And I guess they startled him. So he jumped in the car and he took off. The lady was still on the side and she was like screaming and yelling and hollering. So they pulled up on the side of the lady and they're like, are you okay? And she was like, I just got robbed. I just got robbed. She was like, he stole my car. She was like, it was for Uber. She was like, he stole my car. And I'm like, she said, we were like, get in the car. And because she said the lady was like hysterical, like she was freaking out, like a lot. It was an older black lady, I believe. She said the lady was an older black woman, and the guy who robbed her was a younger male, black male, or whatever. So she said the man had a gun and everything. She said that he had a gun and he was asking her for her like stuff, and she. Basically, he told her to get out the car. He got her out the car, whatever, and it could have got worse. But because the headlights from them startled the dude, he jumped in the car and left or whatever. Okay. The lady's phone was in the car. Purse was in the car. All her things that she possessed was in the car. She told me that the lady had told her that the phone was right there. And I guess Uber has like a button now that if you in like some type of trouble that you can hit the button on your phone and it'll alert them to alert the police or whatever. And the guy was like, don't touch your phone. He told her don't touch your phone, so she didn't touch the phone. And he told her to get out, and she got out, and that's when they pulled up in the mix of all of this happening. So the lady got in the car, whatever, with them, and the lady was so frazzled, like she was freaking out so much, like she couldn't even think straight, because they said she started, Amy was like, she was so hysterical, like she was, as anybody would be if you get robbed at gunpoint, like you'd be freaked out too. She couldn't think, so she couldn't think of numbers to call. And this lady's an older lady, so she memorized phone numbers. So, excuse me. She ended up calling her grandson and telling her grandson, because my friend Amy, my friend Amy, she lives here, but she's from Chicago, and apparently her friend that lives in Chicago, he has a number in another state. It's not Chicago area code. So when they were calling the grandson from both phones, he wasn't picking up the phone. So she ended up leaving a voicemail, and then he listened to it, and then he called back. And then she was telling him, you know, I got robbed, whatever, when I'm with these nice people. And he was like, you don't need to be with them people. Basically like telling her like, you shouldn't be trusting these people either. But she was like, they gave me the phone to call you. Why would I not trust them? And he was like, they called the police or whatever, because my friend said she called the police. And the grandson must have did 100 miles an hour to get to his grandma, because from wherever he lived at to where they were, they said that it should have took him a lot longer to get there, but he got there quick, fast, in a hurry. He had on pajamas. My friend said he had on pajamas and a coat. He didn't even have on clothes. He came straight out the bed because he was asleep. It was after midnight, like I said. Now let me tell y'all what the lady said to my friend that caused this. Excuse me, y'all. Kind of like to happen or whatever. So the lady said that she was doing Uber all night, all evening or whatever. She had just dropped somebody off, and she was just like, and I've done this before too, several times. That's why my friend was like, you need to tell this story. I'm like, okay. She said the lady was like, I just want to pick up one more and then I'm gonna go home. I just want to get one more person and then I'm gonna go home. So as the lady was driving, she was in and I asked her, because I needed to know. I said, what side of Chicago was this on? She said, girl, the south side. I'm like, ain't the south side crazy? Everybody, I'm not from Chicago. I've been to Chicago one time in my whole life. I'm like, don't they always talk about how the South Side is like the worst side of Chicago? Y'all let me know. People that's from Chicago, let me know. But she said yes. She was like, yeah, it's not a good side of town. The lady also said that too. Now, the lady said she used to live in the area, but she don't live over there no more. I guess she live in the suburbs now. But she used to live on the South Side. So when she was driving in the area, she already knew what time it was over there. But she was like, I'm going to still pick somebody up, because you know how you just, because I've done this in Houston, and I said this to my friend too. Even though you know an area is bad, like Fifth Ward, we know that go down in Fifth Ward. We know it go down in Third Ward. Some parts of Third Ward is nice. Some parts is you got to be on guard. Like, well, shit, lock your door anyway. But you know, you got to be head on swivel in some parts. And you also know Sunnyside and some parts of the Southwest. I mean, because Houston is not zoned, so it's little trickles of bad parts of all them sides. But I was telling her, I'm like, just like here, like if you go in certain areas, you don't want to be like, I ain't gonna pick them up because they on this side, because you never know like who that person could be and what they really need. They might really need to be going wherever they gotta go, and it's the only way they can get around. So you don't want to be like, oh, I ain't gonna pick them up because I know it's a bad area, and they might do something to me. You don't want to have that thought. So I told her I definitely understood where that lady was coming from when she had this thought too. Her first mind was like, let me pick this last person up, but then she was just like, maybe I should just go home, but let me pick this last person up. So she went to go pick the person up on this side of town, the South Side. She said it was a bad area. Now, the lady said when she pulled up, the guy, she seen the guy. He had the ski mask on, everything. But she, like I said, I guess when they walk up like that, they don't think nothing of it, because my friend said it was below zero there. So it was freezing cold and it was snowing. So she was like, most people dress like that. So the guy pulled up, and when he got there, she said he opened her driver door. He didn't go, and she told him, she was like, go to the back. And he went to her door and opened her door. And when he opened her door, he was just like, get out. And she tried to, like I said, hit the button. All this is happening, and my friend driving down the street. Like, this is quick. She said she tried to hit the button on the phone, and he said, don't touch that phone, get out the car. And he had the gun, and she got out the car, and that's when her hands was up, and my friend seen her hand up or whatever. But she wasn't thinking like that. She was just thinking maybe they was having, because she told me, she was like, I didn't know if they was having a domestic dispute, if they was arguing, if they got into it, and she just had her hands up because she was talking shit to him or whatever. She's like, I didn't really know what was going on because we just see the lights. She said, but no, she had her hands up because he had a gun. And when he seen us coming, he jumped in the car and he took off or whatever. So she said that all happened. She's like, thank God that y'all had pulled up, because she's like, he probably would have shot me. I don't know. I probably would not be here if y'all would have never came down this road. Because another thing, like I said, it was not a good area. She was on an alley, and my friend said there was nothing open. The lady didn't have no phone, didn't have nothing. So she was like, I don't know what she would have done if we never pulled up, because she was like, nobody drives down that alley. She's like, and the lady also said this, I don't know why I even turned down the alley to pick him up. That was a red flag right there. She's like, it's dark, it's no light, and he want me to pick him up in the alley. She was like, that already was a red flag. But she said she still went, just like I told y'all, even though it be bad areas, because I've done this before too. I still be like, well, you just don't know. Maybe their house, maybe they can't. You just make up some type of excuse of why the person did it. Thank God that in all my situations, it's been a positive outcome. Like, it really was on some, I'm trying to go to where my destination is. It wasn't on none of that. But this lady, it wasn't for her. And then my friend was just like, why was you out here doing Uber this late? She's like, you don't need to be doing Uber late like this. Telling the lady that. She was like, I know. It's like, normally I don't. Normally I stop at a certain time. But she was like, I really need to make this money, this extra money. So that's why I was doing it. And she said, that's why I was out here late. And my friend was just like, so they called the police, like I said, and it took the police 20 minutes to get there. And I was like, that's fucking ridiculous. The lady got robbed. Her car got taken, and it took them 20 minutes. She said it took them 20 minutes to get there. So once the grandson had got there, they ended up The lady ended up going with the grandson. Once the grandson had got there and they were talking to the grandson, the lady ended up going with the grandson, and then they ended up taking off and leaving. But she said that they still was in contact with the lady, and that's how they found out that the police took 20 minutes to get there, because the grandson beat the police there. Like I told y'all, he was there fast. And she said that they waited, they got the police, they made a statement, whatever about the car and all this stuff, and that's it. I asked her, did they ever find a lady car? Did they ever find the person who did it? She said after that had happened, they talked to the lady like the next day, but they didn't talk. She never gave them an update if they found the car or nothing. Ever since that day, they never talked to the lady again. But I was just like, girl, you was a guy sent, y'all driving down that road. She said, and he never takes this from. She was like, first of all, it's an alley. And she was like, he was like, you know, I know a little shortcut to get us to, I guess, wherever way they was trying to get to, wherever side of town. They would have takes the alley, and it would have cut them across to get to the street, to get them to wherever, to get them to go down to wherever he lived. Because she said he didn't live on that side no more. He lived in this guy lived in the suburbs too. Apparently the guy she was with must have lived in the suburbs, and the lady did too. But they cut through here or whatever to get to wherever they was going. And she said, as them cutting through there, seen the lady. So I was just like, damn, you was a guy sent. But that's what happened. If I'm missing anything, my friend Amy will put it in there, but I believe I said everything that happened. And what I was saying in the story was just be vigilant in the things that you do. Follow your first mind, follow your intuition, follow your discernment. It's all the same thing. All three of those are the same thing. Your gut, your intuition, your discernment, it's all it's you. If you feel something, and you know 9 times out of 10, if you're feeling wrong, it's 9 times it's wrong. Or it's not right, or something's gonna happen, or something. Like, follow your first mind. So if the lady would have followed her first mind, she would have just not ever even accepted the trip. And then 9 times out of 10, that would have happened to a whole nother person, because this person was clearly on a mission to do whatever it was they was gonna do and conquer that mission. So just God was on her side, because she didn't get shot or anything like that, thank God. But that shit is crazy and scary, and it happens all the time. I was telling my friend, I'm like, you gotta be cautious with not just being a passenger of Uber, but also being a driver. People always forget that you are getting into a person that you have no idea's car, right? You have no idea what that person's intent is either. You being a passenger, you are vulnerable as well, because you going into it with the intent of getting to your destination, but this person might be a psycho. You have no idea what this person might be. That's why a lot of them people that would get in my car would always be relieved that I was a woman, and they would feel more at ease, because they're like, you're a woman, and you know, you don't think that a woman would have the bad intent on doing something to a person. Just trying to do your job. That's the whole synopsis of all of this, is you're trying to do your job. You're trying to make your money, or you're trying to get to your destination safely, not with the thought of something going to happen to you. It's just so crazy, the world we live in. But that was that story. The next story I'm gonna tell y'all know it's a drunk girl Uber story. Girl, child. Basically, let me tell y'all, I picked a lady up, right, at night. I used to drive Uber, did Uber for 5 years. I've said this in so many of my other Uber stories. I did Uber for 5 years. I stopped doing Uber December 2019. I stopped doing it. I had a full-time job. I got my job that I'm currently working at when I started working in August. It was September of 2019. And I was still doing Uber here and there. But I wasn't doing it full time. I was just doing it here and there. Okay. Just like to give you a little back. So I don't remember when this was. I can't remember the year. I don't know. I don't remember. But I remember what happened. So I picked a lady up from a bar at night, of course. She was a Caucasian lady. I like to say the racist to people, so you just have a visual of what goes on. So I picked the lady up. She was probably in her early 20s. I'll give her 21 to 23, her age. She was blonde. I know what she looked like. She was blonde, fair skin, very pretty, but she was one of those girls that was like one of those sloppy drunks that look crazy when they get drunk. Like she put together, she looked nice, but when she get drunk, she like, ooh, what the hell? That's what she was giving, y'all. So she gets to the car, right? And when she gets to the car, everything is cool. I know she drunk. But she wasn't like a drunk that was like belligerent or rude or nasty or anything like that. She wasn't none of that. She was a crier. Yes, she cried. She cried a lot. She was a crier. So she used to cry. She would. Why are they barking? Stop. Okay, my dogs were barking, so I was just listening, trying to see what's going on. Okay, she was a crier, so when she got in the car, she was kind of crying a little bit, but not a lot. But then she started saying like, I'm gonna get in trouble, they gonna kill me, they gonna kill me. I'm like, who gonna kill you? So you know I got to, wait, hold on, where we going? Because the address you gave me, who gonna kill you? They gonna kill you at this address? Because I ain't gonna take you there if they gonna kill you, girl. What's going on? So I'm like, who gonna kill you? She was like, my parents, because I'm not supposed to be drinking. If they find out I was drinking, they're gonna kill me. I'm like, okay, so what do you want to do? You want to go home or you want to go somewhere else? And she's like, no, I want to go home. And I'm like, okay. So we driving. And like I said, she was crying. She was in the back kind of crying. And I wasn't about to be like, girl, calm down. I didn't say nothing. I just started, I'm driving. Girl, that's your issue. I done been in so many different situations with these people. I be trying to just do what I'm supposed to do and get them to their destination. That's all. If they gonna kill you for drinking, you should have thought about that before you start drinking. That's my whole thought. My whole thought was, why would you be drinking knowing that they're gonna get mad at you? Why are you gonna, or go home? Why, you can't be a good sneak. If you gonna sneak, don't go back to the house. Go to your friend's house. Go to your man's house. If you got one, do something. Go to your cousin's house. Call somebody, a coworker, call somebody you cool with. Anyway, she didn't do that. So I take her to the house, y'all. And when I get to the house, we pull up to the driveway. She lived in a nice area I know the area. It was kind of like, my boyfriend is messaging me right now. I need to hurry up, y'all, so I can call him. So we get to the house. She lived in a nice area in Houston, a very nice area. So the area that she lived in was so nice. I pull up in the driveway and she has her parents have these big glass double French doors. And she had these big, huge dogs. Like them dogs was like horse dogs. Them big giant dogs, it was like horse dogs. Them dogs was big and tall. So the dogs was barking at the door. I could see the dogs. We pull in the driveway. She didn't get out the car. She was still in the car. She was just crying. And I'm like, do you want me to walk you to the door? Because I told y'all when they be drunk, the drunk girls, I be trying to help them. I don't be trying to lead them like that. I be trying to help them. I be really sympathetic to them. So I was like, let me help her, whatever. So I'm like, you want me to help you? She's like, no. So I cut the light on. I'm like, you good? You sure you okay? She's like, yes. I'm like, you want me to call? You need to call somebody? And she's like, no, I'm going to get out the car. So the dogs was barking. Like I said, they were barking. She had those big glass doors. You could see in the house. So the dogs was barking. And I'm telling her, I'm like, all right, I'm asking her, is the address that we are at, is that the correct address? Because one, I don't really pull into driveways at houses. I normally just pull up and let them walk from the street. But because of the area that we was in, she lived like on her house was on like one of them busy streets, but in a nice area. So if I sit on the street, it's like I'm blocking kind of the street, if you know what I mean. So I pulled into the driveway. I just asked her, are you sure this is the house? She said, yes, it's the house. She had a big tree in the front yard. So I'm telling the girl, I'm like, okay, well, we here. You got to get out because I have to go pick up another person. I be lying. I don't be having to pick up nobody. I was like, I got to pick up another person. So I'm like, you got to get out because I need to go to this other person. They waiting on me. So she's like, I'm going to get out. So she's crying in the car. She's like, they're going to kill me. She kept saying that over and over. They're going to kill me. They're going to, I shouldn't even say that. They're going to unalive me. They're going to unalive me. They're going to unalive me. I'm going to edit that out. She's like, oh, they're going to unalive me. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. I'm like, who? She's like, my parents. They're going to do it. They're going to unalive me. She kept saying that over and over. And I'm like, okay, So what do you want to do? Like, it's no, what do you want to do? Do you want to get out? Do you want me to walk you to the door? Do you want me to talk to them? What do you want to do? And she's like, no. And then so she opens my door. She opens my door and then she puts one foot out. And I'm like, okay, I'm thinking she's gonna get out. No. She's still there. And she's like, I'm gonna call my brother. And I'm like, okay. So I guess her brother, she didn't even get a chance to call him because he walked to the door and he looked out the door because the dogs is going crazy. Them dogs was barking. So he looked out the thing and he sees, and then he opens the door and he comes walking out, and he's like, I guess he can hear her because she was crying too, like crying and talking, and she's calling him, but I don't think he had his phone. But so she gets out, y'all, and she runs to the tree. She doesn't get out and like walk on the pavement. She runs. They had a huge tree in the front yard. She runs to the tree and she's like crying and acting like a psycho, crying and doing all this extra stuff all by the tree. And he's like calling her name. Just say her name is Cindy. He's like, Cindy, what's going on? Are you okay? Who car is that? Like asking her, like, who is that? Whose car is that? I ain't roll the window down. I got a super dark tint. I told y'all, a super, super dark tint. I didn't roll my window down. I didn't do nothing. She closed the door. Baby, I slowly crept out the thing. She's running, y'all. I kid you. She did not go in the front door. He saw her. She was by the tree. She goes and she runs and darts towards the back door. And she's running and screaming and crying. And he's like chasing her and calling her name and chasing her and looking at my car and like looking at her. And I'm like, man, I'm about to go. I don't got time for this. This girl is throwed off crazy, drunk, tripping. Like, if you know you can't drink like that and you going home, why are you acting like that? Like, you tripping. So I just pulled off. I didn't have nobody else to go to, but I pulled off. But I was just looking like that. You don't need to be drinking. You gonna act like that. Like, your parents, this is probably why they don't want you drinking, because this is what they get. You got to come home to this. Acting a plum fool. Stay off if you're gonna be acting like this. And I'm sure they probably had a whole talk with her, like, you can't drink because you don't know how to handle yourself. You don't know how to act when you get like this. And we don't have time to be babysitting you. And you running. I'm talking about, she ran the tree there. That girl darted to the back. He chasing her and calling her name and looking at me and calling her name and looking at me. And I'm like, Now she finna go. I politely backed up and whipped it on the out of there. We got on up out of there. But yeah, that's a story. That's the story of that drunk lady. I have other stories of the drunk people, but you know, I'll save that for another time. If you haven't watched my other Uber stories, I'm gonna have a playlist. If I don't have a playlist, I'll leave some link down below so it'll be easier for you to find them. But yes, thank you guys so much. I think I do have a playlist actually, but if I don't, like I said, I'll link it down below. But y'all, thank y'all so much for watching the video. If you didn't get anything out of this, just stay safe, stay vigilant, watch what's around you. If your intuition, your first mind says something, believe it and go with it. If you didn't get nothing else out the video, okay? I love you guys so much. I thank you guys for everything, for all the comments, all the likes, all the love, all the support, all the everything. I love you guys. And until my next video, I will see you guys. Also, we need to schedule a time for these lives, y'all. I want to go live with y'all, but I want people to be in my live. So we got to figure this out. So leave a comment down below and help me out with that. What can we do? I need ideas. When do I need to put a time, a date, or what? I love you. Bye, y'all.